So it's a question by Rekha NS. How to train a 3-month-old dog? Okay, so the first thing that you would want to get started with is training for the markers, the positive and the negative markers both. Okay, and because without that, the communication cannot be very clear. And most importantly, the next step, you must train for the leash training, the leash manners. Because without this, no matter what you are trying to teach, whatever you are trying to train for, whether it's obedience or manners within the house, it won't be complete. And it's that's why it's paramount that you teach the young dog the absolute basics of communication, because with that help you'll be able to teach him the do's and don'ts inside the house, how to move, how to be around other people, other dogs, and likewise. So, and the next question is from Nandini Roy. How to handle adolescent golden retriever? Well, in case of golden retrievers, there are a few things that you must take care of. The first is that at the age when they are adolescent, typically between the age of 8 to 9 months and 1.5 to 2 years. So during that time period, they will try and push the boundaries. Anything, in fact, anything and everything, including the boundaries that have been taught inside the house and the boundaries that have been taught outside the house, all these things the dog would know because you have put in ample amount of effort in teaching your dog the good manners. But somewhere, somehow, your dog will try to push and try to ignore when you give him any command or instructions. So first things first, that one. The second thing that you must take care of is that golden retrievers have this habit of hoarding things. Whatever things they get in their mouth, they try to hoard it. And let's say they will not try to tear it up or things like that, but they're more into hoarding things, like hoarding a particular towel or hoarding a certain doll or bottle or random things like that, which really whatever catches his or her attention. Okay, so that is something that you might want to consider. And lastly, you have to make sure that you are giving your golden retriever ample amount of socialization opportunities, which means that you must take your dog to social situations. But again, I'm not asking you to let other people come and pet your dog or play with your dog. Instead, it's the other way around. You make your dog habituated to outdoor settings, which includes crowd areas where there are other people, other dogs, other vehicles, other different type of sounds, smells. Give him the exposure to all of it. It's almost like you are taking him to the, you are taking through the entire human world, how things work. Okay. The next question is from Nagesh from Pune. How to make my dog taller and stronger? Well, definitely good workout as well as good nutrition that we're looking at, and which also means that ample amount of protein, animal protein in the diet, and pair it with decent amount, like a little bit of animal fat or vegetable fat, and loads of water, loads of hydration, and vegetables, and last not the least, age appropriate workout. If your dog is too young, which is like preferably when your dog's joints are still growing, typically if it's a large breed or a medium sized breed, you may have to wait out till 1 years of age before you can give him hardcore exercise or prolonged duration of exercise. Till then, if it's possible, let your dog free play which means if you have another dog to give him a company, let him play with the other dog whenever they want. And another thing that you might want to consider is giving your dog swimming, outings every week. It could be twice a week or thrice a week. And because swimming does not hamper, does not affect the joints, a growing joint did not affect it. So that is something that you might want to consider, as well as a good amount of a walk, preferably 15 minutes to 20 minutes max. And you just let your dog rule and dictate how much he wants to walk. Okay, do not try to push, thinking that if I push my dog harder and longer duration of workout, it will be much more better, it will be much more calmer. No, it doesn't work like that. Please try to understand how the joints develop, how question, and make sure that you are consulting your vet regularly, and try to use the multivitamin in the diet that is going to take care of the same. The next question is from Shalini Bhasin. My dog eats wood, wall, cement all the time, and yesterday she vomited. How to avoid that? He has so many toys, but he only bites us and does these tantrums. Has he gotten deficiency? I give him some food and along with Royal Canin. So first things first, if you have got this impression that buying your dog toys is going to absolve you of the responsibility to give him quality time, you are mistaken. First, second thing, if you assume that your dog needs constant entertainment all the living moment, all the waking up time, again you are wrong. So, and third, you are giving your dog way too much freedom at a very early age. Whenever you cannot supervise, create your dog. I know it might sound very odd, but it is what it is. Because the only other way that you can teach a very young dog how not to get into destructive activities is by having a you know plush toy. Yeah, a dog that doesn't move, that doesn't emote, that doesn't exist. There's no other way that you can control or manage a dog like that. That's the first truth. Whenever you are busy, whenever you're unable to pay attention, let's say if you are going to the washroom or taking up a call, or let's say watching TV, things like that. So avoid letting him free roam the house. You let him free roam the house only when you are there to supervise 100%. Nothing else is competing for that attention. And take away the toys, put it away, use the toys only when you have got time to spare. Okay? And whenever you're done with playing with the toys with your dog, put it away and let your dog just be. And that's perfectly fine. There's a question by Madhav. Puppy problem. I don't know what that means. Please elaborate. If you're in the room, please answer it. I'll be happy to fill that question again. There's a question by Shantini Rai Chaudhary. My 2 years, 10 months old German Shepherd boy is otherwise very obedient but very dog reactive. How to deal with it? Shantini, it's a very valid question. First things first, understand the breed. German Shepherds are well known for their reactivity. Okay, it is what it is. That's the first thing. Second thing is it is manageable. How? First things first, teach your dog a strong engagement skills. Okay, that means using your food and the toy to build up that engagement, that you are the topmost priority in a situation. First. Second, teach your dog a non-negotiable no, which means regardless of the situation, whether it's at home or outdoors, a no means no. Your dog has to stop right there, whatever it is they may be doing. If it is still questionable, your no is not established yet. It cannot so happen that your dog knows and understands the no command, but only listens or reciprocates to it, let's say 3 out of 5 times or 4 out of 5 times. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. And once these two are well established, take your dog out. And again, before you take your dog out, the third thing that you need to establish is a leash training, a well versed leash training that is hammered into your dog's mind. These three, when paired together and simultaneously when you or pair it with further proofing sessions around other safe dogs, preferably around other pet dogs or friends' dogs, it will help you to establish a strong neutrality in your dog, especially towards other dogs. Okay? And if you need any further help, you can reach out personally. Next question is from Vasant. My dog poop is with some gel type. Why? What's the reason? Well, I'm not a vet, but again, I would strongly recommend that you get in touch with your vet. But going by the experience, I can tell you that points towards a mucous membrane wrapping around the poop, and which again indicates towards some sort of stomach infection or stomach upset that's been fostering inside your dog's stomach. So the earlier and the faster you get it diagnosed by your vet, get checked out, the better it is. Okay, it's not necessarily very serious, but um, it's you can never be too, you know, cautious. So make sure get it checked out well, and if it still persists, you know, get the blood work done with the consultation of a vet, of course. Moving on to the next question by Manish. How to train the dog for potty, 7-month-old Indie? Well, Manish, if you have joined and in contact with us in the community through one of our, email series, then you must have already gotten it. If you have not got the puppy, the adult potty and toilet training guide, please reach out. I'll be happy to add you to the sequence. We have a free resource on that. The second question that you have posted is how to train dog for leash training. Well, um, it is something that we can't really, just simply explain it to you. It's better that you take the help of a professional trainer. And I also offer an online coaching program for that, which there are many people who have signed up in recent times, and they're getting super results in that. And third, is neutralization is good for male dog? I'm assuming you mean neutering, right? Please confirm. So in any case, neutering is not a good option for a young dog. So wait it out at least 2.5, 3 years of age until your dog gets fully mature. It's better to avoid that in any case, unless until you have another, let's say, female dog in the house, and which could potentially lead to an accidental pregnancy. In that case, you should go for it. Otherwise, there's no point going for a neutering. So the next question is from Raj. I want to keep my dog alone for 4.5 hours without biting anything. Well, again, we have repeatedly seen that even the most well-trained, well-habituated dogs do lapse in their ability to live by themselves when left unsupervised. So understand one thing, you can train a dog for anything and everything while they are in under supervision, which means when you are around, you can train for those situations. But tell me something, how do you exactly train a dog to not do something or to do something while you are away, or while you are totally absent from the scene or the scenario? So that is a big time gamble that you would have to consider. If you are not willing to take that gamble, I would strongly recommend crate training your dog. Crate training is one of the most advanced approaches that is widely accepted across the world, including Europe, US, and India as well. So you might want to consider that. The next question is from Harshvardhana. My 1 year old GLD poops in my house even if I take him to walk. Okay, I don't know what kind of breed is a GLD, but let me still go ahead and field it. So if your dog is still trying to poop in the house and when you take him to walk, a good idea would be to observe your dog's routine very well and try to find out the time, the roughly the time pattern, time duration where your dog goes to relieve himself inside the house even. So try to catch that time and make a note of it for at least a couple of days, 3, 4 days, 7 days, and then take him out around that time. It's better that way. And most importantly, you know, try to have a very specific time of feeding, specific quantity of feeding, as well as specific quantity of water, so that you can have an idea, okay, what factors are affecting your dog's poop schedule at the moment. You might also want to consider that your dog might have a constipation issue. So it is something that you should consider if you have not done it yet. The next question is from Shweta Gupte. Why is my GSD all of a sudden scared of us, especially during night time? He's scared of getting his paws touched, scared of being groomed with a brush at home, scared of eardrops. As soon as anything even remotely looking like these tools, he rushes and hides under the dining table or behind the bed and just refuses to come out. No cajoling, treats, words can bring him out of his hiding place. We are really worried as we feel this may certain no casualty results come out of his as you feel this may lead to further issues. So how should this be addressed? So first things first, what is the age of the dog? Second, what are the like has there been any recent um, cases there's been recent health issues that's been concerning about him? You might want to consider that. Okay, and by chance if your GSD happens to be around the age of um, between the age of 4 to 6 months or 9 to 13 months, then it may be a case of fear period. Okay, please confirm these two things once, and I'll be able to help you out with the further suggestion around the same. Okay, so I have a question from Govind. Diet chart for 7 month GSD female, and my GSD is doing yellow urine from past 1 month. So is this point of concern? Yes, it is a point of concern, because just like humans, if the dog is not well hydrated, it can lead to yellow urine. It can also stem from the fact that your dog might be on any sort of medicines which may be causing that. So you might want to check it out with your vet. And as far as the diet chart is concerned, I cannot really recommend a very generic diet chart. If you need a personal diet chart for your dog, please reach out via email. It's Saptadeep at hsk9s.com, or you can simply book a call through the email that you might have gotten. This is a question from Catherine. Uh, Steals food. I don't know if you're mentioning about a cat, or I don't know if it's a dog. But if a dog has a habit of stealing food, the first thing that you need to teach your dog is impulse control around food. Okay, and that can easily be taught, and by using like by practicing, by making your dog practice patience around food. Okay, whenever your dog is jumping up to get the food, you just pick it up, and you keep on practicing this until your dog offers a strong sit or a down without asking. Okay, so when you keep on practicing this, when you keep on reinforcing this patient behavior, it automatically gets imbibed into the habit of the dog. And apart from this, you have to make sure that your dog does not have access to the kitchen when unsupervised. So if that's the case, you might have to consider getting an access gate, or maybe closing the door of the kitchen if there's one, because you don't want your dog to self entertain himself with the stealing habit. This is a question from Sachin Kumar. How to do potty training of a 6 months old lab? Well, Sachin, if you have already reached out through our community, in that case, you must have gotten it. If you have not gotten it, you can reach out, and I'll be happy to add you to that email series. So this is a question from Surabhi Pandey. I have two indie dogs. They have started fighting with each other all of a sudden. Kindly help me. Surabhi, can you just confirm what are the age of the two dogs, and what is the gender of both the dogs? Can you just confirm that once? So question from Shomi. If I have a small breed dog and no amount of positive reinforcement and socializing is helping in the dog befriending her medium breed brother and sister, what does one do? Well, the first things first that you can do is work on your dog's neutrality around the other two dogs first. Second, you have what you can do is pair it up with a strong engagement training in place. And third, you may have to take the help of a negative reinforcement, someone who knows and understands negative reinforcement really well, because negative reinforcement as a part of learning in the dog world is a very strong tool, and when used well, when done well, it provides stupendous results and very bomb-proof outcomes, even with nervy dogs or anxious dogs and things like that. Okay, but again, it also depends on in what way, in how are you exactly using the positive reinforcement. That's another question, because there are certain situations where there is certain limitation around using of positive reinforcement, especially if it's a super fearful dog. Then positive reinforcement, in the general parlance how people understand it, it can end up making the dog, you know dog's fear or nervousness further aggravated. It can really degrade the problem that is already existing there. The next question is from Jay. How do I train my dog biting furniture and shoes? How do I make him stop? Great train when is unsupervised. That's it. As simple as that. It's a question from Jhalak. Sometimes my GSD, who is 7.5 months old, gets all jumpy and mouthy, playful but can be scary for others, and he does grab on jackets, not realizing the skin inside it can hurt a little. How do I stop him in the moment? Cannot grab collar, he is jumping or running. What is the long-term implication of this? The long-term implication of this is as your dog grows older and he gains more flesh and weight, he is going to become more aware about what no, about the awareness that he can actually use his weight to boss people around, boss things around, and to get whatever he wants. And in case of a German Shepherd who is in the habit of jumping on people and trying to nibble hard or mouth very hard, it can accidentally someday turn into a not so good incident. So first things first, the people who are managing or interacting with the dog on a regular basis, if they are not on the same page when it comes to the training, then in that case, the dog needs to be kept separated from them. But if you are looking for a solution that is all inclusive for the other people who are engaged with him, you might want to consider generalizing the no command around other people, which means that the other people in the family who are mostly interacting and engaging with your dog, you take the help of a professional trainer who can actually help you generalize the no command, which means no matter who uses the no command inside the house, the family people use in the house, your dog must obey and take that instruction. And most importantly, it's usually not effective when the dog has already done it. There are always very starting signals, starting body language changes, starting certain activities that is going to tell you, okay, now he's going to go after the jacket or the shoes, or let's jumping up on people. So you have to try and be smart about that moment. Okay. And you also will have to teach your family members about those small things. And if it's a regular occurrence, then there has to be certain patterns, and you must observe those patterns and interrupt it right before it ends up in the last part. So you have to try to catch it in the first couple of momentums or the changes in body language. This is a question from Kashif. Adult German Shepherd, not protective at all. I have adopted him 15 days before. Well, what are you expecting? A dog will go and give his life for you in 15 days. What have you exactly done to earn that trust? First. And second is, have you tried to just let him settle down? Have you tried to make him feel at home? If you have not done that already, you are expecting way too much. Unless until there's a bond between you and your dog, or the family and the dog, which does not really get established within 15 days. You are expecting way too much from a simple being and expecting very less from yourself. Please pay attention to that. Be kind to the dog, be good, be try to friends, and it will be good to go. Okay, so let's take the questions from here. Okay, so the question from Jhalak is how? Well, in this case, Jhalak, how you can generalize that no command is very simple. Just give a second. Yeah, it's very simple. You put on the leash, and whenever he, let's say, he's trying to do something, and you ask your family member to say give the command no, and you are going to register that correction with preferably in the form of leash jerk, or or any sort of deterrent that you feel is going to be effective or you have found effective. So you have to choose that deterrent well first. And again, you have to create situations, you have to come up with drills where your dog is going to commit those mistakes. And let's say if he's wary about you or your presence, so don't look at him, you just be just try and act totally ignorant and you're not looking at him. And whenever you just give your family members prior intimation about using the command no, and then you are going to pair it up with the leash jerk. So that is going to make sure that you are able to make generalize it across the situations. You have to do it a couple of times, in fact maybe 50 100 times before your dog really gets it. So the next question that's coming from you is, how do I engage with him when I detect these small precursors of this jumpy behavior? So first things first, again, say a no or the negative cues that you typically use in your interactions. The ones that really signify that if you do not stop, something else is going to come, which is the prefer the leash corrections or push around or a little bit. Hey, startle him. So whenever you startle him, you are taking away the fixating behavior on that particular one, because after the fixation is established, these type of behaviors follow very soon after. Okay, once I detect the moment, do I make him sit, engage with him? No, nothing. You just say no. No is a no. Just because a no has been said does not mean you have to follow it up with another command. The dog must disengage, and that is it. If it does not, then you have to follow it up with a leash correction. That's why you use a leash inside the house at all times when the dog is not sleeping, till the time your dog is very much well versed in taking instructions from you and your family members. Angela, so I have to stop this, even if it's playful. Well, yes, because you have to stop this in the sense, because see, for you, your interpretation of the behavior is it's a playful behavior. Understand this thing. Dogs understand through play. They understand what are the do's and don'ts, what are the uh, negotiables, and what are the non-negotiable behaviors in the social interaction with the humans and other dogs through play only. So if you think that the play is only for play, you are mistaken. But again, having said that, there are very much good platform, good avenues to put the play to use. It's through fetch, through obedience, through tug of war. Those are the absolutely very good engagement games that you can play with your dog to get to bond with you, and also to learn to channelize those stupid misadventures in a positive light. So it's a question from Surabhi. One is of 4 years and second is of 2 years. Both are male and started growling at each other suddenly. Okay, so I think it was about the indie dog, right? Okay, so since the second dog has turned 2 years old, you have to understand that the second dog has come adult and mature, and who is just simply trying to dominate the other dog, which means that in the canine world, once the dogs come to an maturity age, they do try to challenge the existing dynamics of the pack structure, which is very much acceptable and very much okay. But to understand that it has got to be usually be around and competing for something. It could be a particular space like sofa or bed or one particular spot in the house, or it could be around food. It could be around affection or personal space around you, or the particular family members' personal space which they are trying to guard or compete with. Okay, and it could be any number of things. You have to keep your eye out and jot down your observations. And here, a multiple dog household is a very can be a challenging scenario to manage. So first things first, you have to make sure that your dogs are getting their um, daily quota of their physical and mental enrichments being fulfilled. Physical and mental um, needs are being fulfilled. Apart from that, you will have to make sure that a well structure and discipline is established, which you can address in the form of basic obedience. Okay, and if there are other things that they are probably fighting for, you can just reach out to me and we can discuss about it further. Okay. Okay, so when they come in front of each other, not every time, but they start growling at each other. See, growling is perfectly fine, like it's okay form of communication. It can also mean they're excited. It can also mean they're warning each other. It can also mean any number of things. But It cannot so happen that whenever they come in front of each other, they are going to growl. If that's happening, which also means that somebody got scared and you are keeping them separate in the separate rooms. Is that so? See, they are going to start fighting because first things first, you have not established a proper structure in the house, which because if the dogs in the same household are fighting every time they are meeting, then it definitely points to a larger missing structures inside the house, the missing discipline inside the house, missing uh, you know scenario where the workout needs are not being met, including mental and physical ones. And you might also want to consider if they are doing he- well health wise. Okay, which means when was the last time you have gotten their blood tests done and works done? So this is a question from Show Me. Okay, how do I get my Shih Tzu to like my Beagle and Cocker Spaniel? It's been 2.5 years. She just doesn't seem to like them. She does not even like staying on the same floor as them and snaps at them. Well, first things first, keeping them separate is only going to aggravate the social interactive nature and dynamics between them. Okay, first things first. Second thing, if that's the case, I would recommend creating your dog when the other two dogs are around, just for the Shih Tzu to get habituated to being around the presence of the other two dogs. Okay, and simultaneously what you can do is, let's say, you create the other two dogs in maybe a single same crate or two different crates, and then you let your Shih Tzu be around you, play with you, have food, workout, and things like that. So when you chalk out activities, social activities around the other dogs in such a way that they are learning to coexist and also ignore them and but engaging with you, that is a very nice way that I personally prefer to build up the dynamics in a existing household where the multiple dogs are are at odds with each other and cannot tolerate each other. No, they live together, but I see no trigger of growling. See, it cannot happen that there's no trigger involved. I mean, there has to be something. There has to be something. It can be, maybe they are not they are exercised well. Maybe they are not very well versed with your no and yes and other commands. Because if a dog is very well versed with the basic obedience, then it goes without saying that your dog can take instructions from you no matter what. Also, you may have to check out that if one of the dogs is actually super protective about the space around you or one of the family members. That is also something that you might want to consider. And if it's possible, try to take some information, try to understand if when they are left alone in the house, when there's nobody inside the house, how are they with each other typically. So if you can just try to make a note of it, and preferably if you have got a CCTV in the house that you can put in the recording mode and watch how they behave with each other. Okay, any more question, guys? Please tell me the best way to give them good exercise. It is too cold here. Suggest something that can be done in the home. Do they have a good appetite? Fantastic. So in that case, what you can do is um, grab their meal, pick out like relatively open space in the house or in the terrace, maybe take them out or take them in, bring them to that room where there's ample amount of space. Do it one by one. Grab the food, grab the solid foods, which prefer the chicken or the kibbles or the cheese and the things like that. Throw it, uh, grab a little bit of kibbles or a little bit of portion of the solid food, throw it away from you. let your dog go ahead and run and grab it, and again come back to you for another serving, small serving. You give him that serving and again throw the food away from away, both of you. Again let him run and grab it and then come back to you. This way back and forth when they're doing it inside the house. You are able to work them out for the food. And it's an indie, so understand one thing, indies are rather somewhat easy to manage um, because once you have given them their daily dosage of physical and mental workout, they just chill out. They don't create much fuss. Okay, another thing that you might want to explore is the flood pool. Go to YouTube and check out FLIRT, flood space POLE, flood pole. So again, it's a very good workout equipment that you can make at home. It hardly takes half an hour to, not even half an hour, it's just 10 minutes to make it. If you have the equipment, it's basically their favorite toy, tie it with a rope, and you're good to go. So check out YouTube and you will get a lot of tutorials over there. It's a very good exercise when you are unable to take him out for a walk or things like that. Okay. Another thing that you can try is using the food to, get them through their daily routine of obedience touch-ups. That again works superb. Anything else? Guys, have you got any other questions to ask? Okay, so I'll just lay it up for you. So if you guys are looking for personalized dog training support, then reach out to me, and we have got a training program that addresses the needs. In fact, whatever the kind of behavioral challenges you may be facing with your dog, or whatever the training goals may be with your dog, whether you want a well-trained dog outdoors or whether you want a well-trained dog around people, or when guests come over, if you've got these type of challenges, if you've got these type of goals for your dog, and sometimes it's good to have these type of things established and put into place with your dog so that it's a breeze, it's a comfort to lead the life like that. Okay, so if you're looking for something like that, do reach out to me and we can get on a call and discuss what are the options that we're like offering right now. It's something people are getting super results with. And what are the things that is involved? It basically involves going through a 90-day program where you are taught a number of things from basic obedience to troubleshooting, basic behavioral challenges to advanced behavioral challenges through different type of drills and recorded modules. Okay, and the guarantee is when if you follow these videos and the weekly tasks, if you complete that, and by the end of the 90 days, you will have reached your training goals. And if by any chance you are unable to complete that, or if you're not satisfied with it, you can get ahead, no, you can get on a call with me and I will go ahead and extend my extra support for you for another month or 2 months. So if it sounds something like it would fit your needs, do reach out to me at shaktideep@hsk9s.com or give me a call at or WhatsApp me on 8777586970 and we can take it forward. Right. Is there anything else that you guys would want me to answer? Please let me know. Or else we are going to wind up the session for today. All right, so then we'll just wind up the session for today. Thank you so much for coming over and joining in the session. And it's an absolute pleasure to answer and field all the questions. If you need to go ahead and ask me any more questions in the next session, you can drop them in the comment section or in that particular form link. Right? Thank you and have a nice day.